All right,
Cheers.
it's in between, and Richard
Cheers.
tried to do something off camera before, so Richard, say it.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Congrats
Clink,
to
clink, clink.
a great, successful talk of a movie and more to go. We've got
4 down, 5 to go.
4 down, 5 to go. Hopefully we can do this in person sometime soon.
When we get halfway through the next movie, we're not physically, like time-wise, but movie-wise, we're halfway through.
And the funny thing is, it seems like since we did the first film, we've had struggles in between,
We've had, pandemics and surgeries and people injuring and work and
things come up. This one will probably be the one I remember as far as what we struggled with because of the pandemic. It completely
really put
typifies
a break on us recording, because we used to record at people's houses. We'd go to my house, we'd go to your house, Todd. We'd go to Zeus.
Right.
Yeah.
That was fun to kind of, we'd go to Zeus. I forgot about that. That'd be kind of fun to all get together and hang around a table and talk and drink beers and bullshit and we'd go through the minutes and have fun. And we'd get sillier on Fridays just because we were
drinking beer.
Usually a couple of beers in. Right. So hopefully the audience is bearing with us without being quite so silly. Or maybe they're actually enjoying us sounding sober.
Well, it's funny because this is the first beer I've had with recording since the last time we got together. We get up so early, I'm drinking coffee and whatnot.
Are you saying you haven't had a beer since then, or is this your first beer with us?
During recording. This is the first time I've had a beer during recording since the last time that we were together face to face.
Yeah.
Well, I will be definitely having a beer in proximity with Sean a week from
next
Tuesday.
Week, yeah. When the election happens.
Not this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday.
We're either celebrating, commiserating, or waiting for results.
This is what I'll say. While you guys do that, I will, because Shelly will not watch that. She expects me to give her the returns. She can't handle the stress.
Yeah.
Please feel free to Zoom me at some point because I will be drinking as well, and I can join in virtually.
Yeah.
I love hearing all the stats and watching them go. Or look at what the results are coming in this particular county right here, which is really interesting because this county typically tends to lean this way, and these are all of our early votes. And this is one to rewatch because of how it went in 2016, and I kind of like that weird stuff.
I think I read that early voting in Texas has already cast more votes, just voting in general, in early voting, than were cast in the election last time.
That's correct. And
So,
well, I think the country's isn't the country.
My hope
like
is obviously my hope obviously is they're voting early and voting Democratic, but we'll hope.
Didn't we hear that like 80% of all votes from 2016 have already been cast?
Yes.
Like it's like 80% of people who voted or 80% of the vote is already in from 2016, which means it's going to surpass those numbers dramatically.
I know we three have already early voted, right?
Yes, we have.
I had never early voted before, and I have to say, I really enjoyed it.
I hadn't either, and now that I've done it, I'm going to wait about a week after early voting starts next time, and then there's no people online.
Shelley's the one that got us started with that. I don't remember. It was a local election. She said, let's early vote. And I was like, I don't want to. Trust me. Well, the other day, we have a big...
don't wait that day.
I don't know if you guys have seen we have a big event center behind us where we have a local minor league hockey team. They bring concerts there. That's what the city of Allen has converted to early voting. So it's this huge arena and a really socially distanced. On a Sunday, we literally, and I told both you guys, it took us 5 minutes. We walked up, checked in, got through, got out. It was awesome. It
took me 20 minutes just because the line was kind of wrapped around the building, but the voting went fast. I like the fact, I don't care about sports in general. I do like the fact that the NBA, the players negotiated to have all their stadiums set up as early voting locations. So if you, in Dallas here, additionally on top of it, if you're going to vote, public transportation is free to you. So if we wanted to, we could walk, down the street to the DART stop, ride the train down to American Airlines Center, vote, turn around, come back, and probably would take us, including the train ride, 20 minutes.
Without getting too deep into political parties and politics or specifics, I'm a firm believer that everybody should be able to vote. And I love this idea of early voting. I love the idea of access for vote by mail for people that can't necessarily get in. Our seniors, our military officials, our college students that may be away from their permanent residence right now to be able to do a mail-in vote. I'm a big fan of maybe turning Election Day into a holiday where we can actually have the day off to go vote rather than works, I mean, work is supposed to allow you to take that time off, but it should just be
legally, yeah.
It should be a holiday. We should celebrate the fact that we have the ability to go and vote for our elected officials, and I wish I could see more of that.
We did. Real quick, 2 comments to that. Uber and Lyft are actually giving free rides to and from polling locations. If you can prove you voted, they'll give you a free. What a smart thing for them. That is a win-win. I mean, you're already out there in the discussion. You're also probably getting people in your cars that have never used your service before. Smart move. Now, I don't want to be ugly about my early voting situation, but I did run into, Shelley and I both ran into problems with the people that helped us to log in. The first one, it raised a southern.
What do you have to log into? Sorry.
When you log in, when you sign in, when you come in to tell them you're voting, you show them your voter's registration or whatever.
Or your ID or whatever.
Yeah, you're basically just checking in so you can get your stuff and go. Being raised by a very sweet southern woman, I still go with the antiquated thing that my wife goes first. It's always like, you please, you go first. She steps up there and... the poor guy didn't know Shelley, if unleashed, will just blow his ass apart. She put her driver's license and voter registration down. And he went, turn it around. And I heard it. I went, uh-oh.
What?
This is not going to be good. And she was like, I'm sorry, turn it around. And she's like, and she's got it.
Turn
and she starts
around,
turning it. Which way do you want it? He's like, so I can read it? And I thought, oh, Lord, when he did the so I can read it, I thought, uh-oh. This is not going to be good. Shelley's going to get kicked out of the polling place because she's going to look and go, look, bitch, don't speak to me that way. But what I said to her, I said, all he had to do is say, ma'am, would you mind turning that so I can read it? That's how you handle that. Then I get up to it and I start logging in. So touch screens, they were, I'm going to tell you what they were doing first before I tell you how it was approached to me. They provided Q-tips so you didn't have to touch the screen. Did you guys get that same experience?
It was like a Q-tip, but something like that. Yeah.
So
where'd you vote, Richard? At the library?
At the library, like we did, yeah.
Well, we had a stylus.
Well, I mean, but it was a temporary stylus. It looked like a Q-tip, right? It had a little.
No, mine looked like a pen with just rubber at the end of it. So they must have changed it in between our voting.
It was a squishy thing, and then
mine was more like a Q-tip.
It was about the size of a Q-tip.
No, mine was the size of a pen.
No, ours was the size of a Q-tip.
So I step up there, and people it's already difficult with masks on to communicate with each other. The unfortunate thing is the woman who helped me had such a thick Asian accent that I probably would have had a hard time understanding her anyway with the mask on. Then, so you show them your registration, then somebody takes it, and there's a little sticker that they do, and you're going to sign it. I thought she wanted me to sign the thing, so I grab a pen. And all I understood was, I still don't even know what she said. It was almost like she was trying to say, take one of these, use it. But all I heard was, use it, take it. And I was like, what? Use it, take it. And I'm looking at her holding the signature thing. Luckily, there's some sweet woman over here going, that's what they decided to do this year for styluses. Now, you can also clean your ears when you're done, but I wouldn't suggest doing it before. Some cute old woman. And I wanted to kiss her. I was like, thank you.
If I cleaned my ears with what they gave me, I'd be hitting my brain.
Well, I was like, at least thank you for being sweet and kind of walking me through this. But man, it was a little difficult, but once we got into vote, super easy. It was just a little arduous talking to people.
Yeah, I don't understand what was going on with them telling Shelley to turn it around or anything, because I literally just handed them my driver's license.
They didn't want to touch it where I was.
Scanned it, and that was it.
Well, the question is, I don't know if they scanned Shelley's driver's license, but it might have been a situation where, and again, we're dealing with volunteers, right?
Right, of course.
A few of them are being paid for the day, but most of them are probably
Some of them have probably done it before, but most probably haven't.
Right, and even on election day, I remember how always stressed and crazed everybody was trying to get stuff done. So they're dealing with a lot of people. They're dealing with a pandemic. They're nervous about interacting with people.
Right.
He should have been nicer. He said, "Ma'am, I can't really touch that. Do you mind turning around so I can read it?" Or something along those lines.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
He's been dealing with multiple people over the course that day, and he's just become coarse. Maybe he was never good at customer service.
Shelley probably was the least assholey person he dealt with, but he took out all the assholes on her.
I mean, I'm in customer service, right? I have people come to my counter all day long, and it's one of those things where you have to think about, how am I saying it? Can they understand what I'm saying? Am I being nice? Am I not being nice? Am I coming across as curt? How am I presenting myself? And sometimes over the course of a day or a course of a month or whatever, you begin to learn the dialogue that works, that people kind of most click with.
Right.
So I'm I'm not trying to make up for him, but he just sounded like he was not prepared for that kind of situation, or was just tired, or maybe he's just generally an asshole all the time. Well, I mean, that could be it too.
And let's be quite honest, a volunteer doesn't mean that you know how to converse with people.
It means you're there to help, not necessarily an expert.
You know how to converse in a good and a well-spoken manner to where you can just phrase it. I'm sorry, ma'am, could you turn that around so I can see it? And the funny thing is,
I apologize, ma'am. We're not allowed to touch.
Yes,
stuff.
anything like that.
That way, yeah. Well, turn it around.
Well, come on. Let's talk about comic book writers and artists that are used to actually writing. That are introverts that sit in their rooms writing and doing art, or musicians that are used to great musicians. Doesn't mean they can get in front of people and actually have good conversations and be nice.
No,
I mean I know a lot of amazing artists that the minute they get in front of people, they freeze up, their eyes are down. And that person that comes to the table almost always walks away with a bad experience, thinking that they're, rude or whatever. No, they're just not customer service people.
And even on the flip side of that, as being a consumer, maybe meeting an artist or writer that I like, especially if it's an artist and I've requested a sketch or something, and I give it to them or give the paper to them, and they're starting to sketch. Am I distracting them by talking to them? Do they want to talk to somebody? You don't know what's going on the other side as well.
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways, I did not fault this man because I to many of the points you guys are making.
I don't know your wife. We know, but she can be wrong sometimes.
Well, I don't. In this situation, I was standing right there with her, and I thought was she walked up in what I call sweet Shelley mode. Which, as an aside, we went out somewhere yesterday, and she was so sweet to this girl. The girl even said to her, "I love your attitude. Thank you so much." So Shelley can be so charming and so sweet, but if you flip on her, I'm telling you,
it's time to flip the bitch switch.
Well, she'll tell people, she's like, there are times when Todd has to step in and go, nope. Because I know Shelley might get punched. She is just so abrasive at times when shit goes wrong. Well, this guy, what I told her, I said, Shell, he was you after the switch has been flipped. He's had enough. Yeah. People aren't doing it.
Pre-switch.
Yeah, and I said, so just give him a break. But, of course, then I get down there and I can't understand, and Shelley could even hear me saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am sorry. So it was a difficult situation. However, once you get into vote, all that aside, it was not bad. It was easy to do what you need to do and get it done.
Oh, yeah. Voting took no time.
Oh, I love it. To everybody out there, go vote. Go vote early. Voting early is great. I love the day of, because I'm like, hey, I'm participating in this giant experiment on the day. That's why I always used to wait for it.
Me too. But you know what? If there wasn't a virus going on, I'd probably wait till.
I would say the same. I would say the same thing. If the virus weren't happening right, if the pandemic were not going on, and we weren't in a situation where our leaders were scaring us about voting.
Our president saying, "Hey, monitor the polls," and that's illegal. But
and you were going to challenge this and challenge that. And I'm like, I just need to go and get it done and have it out of my mind.
I don't want it. I don't want to be floating in the mail because he's doing fuckery with that kind of shit. Yeah,
but I'm not. I'm just there. There's rhetoric right now about the election having issues, and I just want it to be done.
That's why your part to be well taken care of. No questions.
No issues.
Not floating in the mail. You've signed your name the way it's been signed before, all that kind of stuff.
So our audience is listening to us now, right? It's after the election, but we're leading into the election. It's an election that has a lot of, the sides right now are very drawn. It's very heated election with a lot of strong emotions from everybody. There's not even an independent out there right now that isn't passionate about something that's going on right now. And I don't like this us versus them. I wish we were moving a little bit closer towards unity between political parties and so on. But we are at a divisive time, looking for people that can bring us together as opposed to people that can divide us. So that's what I'm looking for.
So I know you guys being my friends. I know that we all end on politically in the same ballpark. That aside.
Mm-hmm.
Results of the election come out. Are you going to feel any relief? Let's say it doesn't go the way the three of us wanted to. Will you feel any relief because it's over? Or are we to the point, and I know where I fit in this, that the anxiety is only going to amp up to 11 should it go against the way that we hope it does?
I think the only way there will be relief is if Biden wins and it's